My name is Mikhail Stevens, and this is a quick demonstration of my space project that I've been working on. It's meant to be quick, and the last one was 20 minutes, so we're going to try to slim this down as much as I can. I really enjoyed space games. Space and RPG were the two categories. RPG won out for Hamlet, so the main focus is there. But this project is meant to be, when I need to take a break and do something different. I really enjoyed. I think the first one was Elite Dangerous in 1980 version. And I like the idea of starting with a really small ship and building up and getting bigger and bigger ships, and then having more ships, which they never could, and then you can do in this game, and then eventually buying planets and star bases and massive trade empires. So this is meant to be that. This is taking from the Cool 18 Project Caprica, which I've named this Project Canada, but I've massively I've included all the years of projects, which we'll go through and see. But here's his. He has a random star. I've turned this. He has this random solar system, which I've turned into a sector. Some of this is not quite clear on how it's working, but as we clean it up and make it better, as I clean it up and make it better, it should be a lot better. These green lines and red lines are meant to be trade lanes, sector lanes, but we're still kind of experimenting with exploration. Anyways, the temperatures of the planets. If you left click on there we go. Left click on a yellowish star system. The star view says about between 5 and 7,000 kelvins, I believe it's called, is the temperature for yellow. But then up to 60. Wow, this one's 65,000. Which sorts the size, which is the 7 right here is the size and the temperature. And then let's see, we can. I'm not. You'll have to explore and try to figure this out. But right now, it's just all meant to be showcased, so I can actually see and demo what I'm looking at. If you right-click, you can go into this star view, which is like in a star info view, and you have to escape. I need to put an escape button there. But anyways, that wasn't. It was a very. So these are all randomly generated on their number of. Yeah, this one says. Yeah, definitely need an escape button here. But anyways, I guess let's go into one of these, and then we can see the. So there's a lot of work here. Oh, yeah, this is actually a great. I can talk about the orbits, but there's a lot of work to try to figure out how to do. Yeah, and see this is because it's generating after the fact. I have to fix the orbit. This is meant to be the I'm not sure. This is this, yeah, because that's kind of one of the big problems here. This is meant to be 0, 0, 0, but then it becomes. Anyway, so it's kind of a cross between. This game is probably going to be a cross between an RTS game, which I have same trouble with my RPG. It's like an RTS game I really enjoy, but I just like the RPG. But I don't. I'm not a big fan of the right now the space sims, which will showcase my take on that in a quick minute here. So the general idea here was to be able to have this Haven's Fury, as we're calling our ship, and then we have this minor laser range. So if we select and I've actually, it's really awesome. I've got the selection actually worked out to be much better. Maybe needs a little bit more shader work on the materials, but you can actually see that there's actually and the rock graphics is just, hey, we're selecting the rock. It's an asteroid game object with a rock graphics mesh. Anyway, so we can select it. The distance is too far, way too far. So, and then I'm not sure. At some point, I think the next is it's sort of, you can sort of see it here. There's a gray thing. Oh, weird. What's that? Weird. I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, so this is kind of meant to be a plane zero, which I thought space games you would kind of have, which is kind of where they're. Um, it's not how they probably work, but they seem to be a little bit more. But as a ship, you would have your current plane be your level plane. We'll talk about that hopefully in the next part. But anyway, so that's kind of. But then, so this would just, I can select this ship, and then I can just right click with nav mesh. But I'm probably not going to do that. I'm going to do some more physics-based calculations. You might be able to run through this and various things. So anyways, that's just a quick demo. It's meant to be like, hey, this is a mining ship, and you have drones, and it's actually meant to be a mining capital ship. You'll have drones, mining ships that you'll send orders out and collect things and do all sorts of crazy things. But let's talk about I think Stargraph. Some of the other projects in this series. Oh yeah. This is all meant. Yeah, this is kind of how it used to look, but it's improved it pretty much. But where is the? Yeah, okay, here's the ship, so we'll talk about this. So this is kind of a demonstration of another type of project I was working on. It was kind of like a spy hunter sort of. So I just said, hey, it would be quite easy to dump this into the ship view. So and part of the thing is this ship automatically goes back to. That's sort of in space in the future. It's like if you have a ship, it's really expensive, really powerful. It would have these default modes. And one thing I was thinking about too, as I was recording this, is like, so this is where it falls back to. It would be nice if I said, hey, I want you to go this way, and then I hit another button, and that would lock that to the current view. But this is a demonstration of the physicality of the thing, and it's meant to have like this part of this other demo was meant to have like thrust points, but to me, the thrust points are just sort of internally represented, but the main idea is you're trying to accomplish, and that's why this is not going to be a Star Citizen Elite Dangerous like the 2000 plus version. It's meant to be more of a wing commander, fly. A lot of it's going to be computer like abstracted apart. So if you really want a full fledged, HOTAS craziness, go for that game. This is meant to be more of a fun science fiction fly by wire fun. Anyway, so you're gonna have and that's you can do the barrel rolls. And this is meant to be like if you're really cranking it down, it's kind of like the car. I'm not sure if that's how a car works, but if you really jam on the gas and it like lifts the back wheels up, or the other thing I was thinking, if you really jam on the gas, it would lift the front wheels, depending on the type of vehicle it is and where the weight is. And um, this could be like if you're trying to stop, that it would like you're like, and then. But anyway, so sound effects will be a lot better. But you know what I mean, where it's like it's got that, really, and that's kind of the visceral Star Wars sort of like when they're flying through that. That's kind of the feel I want to go for. It's like really punch it, and really feel. And that's the thing. Like if you hit if the like I was playing X4 and you hit the boost, it's like you want to feel this space just revert back because you just hit, and two, it's sort of balance out the kilometers. And that's one thing. This is sort of like this background's not really great. It's sort of hokey, but it's kind of what a lot of people do. But the general idea is that in the ship view, you're sort of within that that's I have to build all that, which now that I have the asteroids, I could actually build a flying, turn this into a flying, because that's what I didn't have before, is the actual objects are moving. So you couldn't, like, this is actually could be moving, but because you don't see it, it's not working. Anyways, that's kind of the general ideas where I'm trying to go with this. It's not going to be a real flight simulator. It's going to be more of a oh, I think these are the ones. It's going to be more of a yeah, so this is the planet. It's a lot of this needs to be fixed. So those asteroids are kind of going to be starting. You can actually see other objects, and this is traveling weight. That's one of the things I'm really working on, is how to figure out how to have time, but not be able to run. And this is really cool too, where it's like this is my first iteration through the. This is meant to be through each of these are systems or planets or whatever that have gravity, and then two, if they collide, they create these explosions, which then would create sub asteroids and all sorts of. It's probably going to be this, and you can see like this one has a very centric orbit, but it's really slow, and it's just it randomly puts everybody in there, randomly. Generally, I think they're all. I have this other system too, where it's like they're all trying to rotate, because that's what really happened is they all rotate. They're not all rotating randomly. They're all rotating around a black hole for the Milky Way, and then there's a central black hole that I think feeds this whole system, and then there's could be possibly more. So that's kind of what I'm trying to work on here. But anyways, this is all kind of meant to be, and this is all based on this is actually moving really quick. Years are passing or whatever, but but so somehow we'll have a system like this in the. It's kind of these are fun systems to mess with, so it'd be interesting to. And if planets collide, that's what creates more varied asteroids and different objects like that. And I would add in more dynamic events, I think, and then somehow link those or find those or anyway. So then this is like I'm not sure if this is a planet or this is actually would be a great solar system. It's kind of too messy for a solar system, but I don't think that's how the solar system seems to be like works in a very everything sort of is tied together and it's all moving in one. This is very chaotic, which I don't think anything. But it's just meant to demo the some of the concepts. But anyway, so that's kind of probably long enough. But it's meant to be a side project. I hope it's kind of meant to be a mining sort of where you can sort of build mine ship trade space type of game where you can travel and not combat's kind of one of those last features that will be included, but depends on how. But I'll probably take a long time just for fun. But I just wanted to showcase what I have so far and get some feedback on it. Thanks very much, and I'll talk to everybody later.